The weeds in your garden. What weeds have you been giving attention to in your garden recently? The garden, of course, is a metaphor. Now, imagine there we are looking out onto the most beautiful garden that we've ever seen. Most of the time we realise it has everything that we would ever want it to have. There might be the occasional moment though when we want there to be more or less in the garden, more flowers, another walkway, more colours and wildlife perhaps. Or maybe less weeds in the garden. So we set about adding to that garden, trying to add to the beauty of it. We also try weeding the garden and being rid of the things we no longer want in it. Those things that aren't adding to the garden any longer. They weren't significant previously, but we've decided now that they no longer need to be there, so we pick them out one by one. Then we realise we can't add any more beauty to the garden. It just is. In trying to add to the beauty, all we've started to notice is more and more weeds that we think we need to start weeding. So we start weeding, but the weeds just keep growing back. We can't get rid of them as such, but all the energy we've given them leads to us to keep noticing them, to grow them, or for them to irritate us in some way. Now all of a sudden we've lost that moment of enjoying the beauty. Now, just one of the many wonderful things that I love about my work is the insights and the realizations that I continue to have myself, and I wanted to share this particular one with you. And the name of this podcast was originally going to be called Weeding the Garden. However, I realise we don't need to weed it as such. Perhaps it is unrealistic. It's an unrealistic expectation to think we can be rid of those weeds or challenges in the first place. Perhaps people's opinions and expectations are wanting to achieve perfection, to have something we can't have or be free of those stresses and anxieties. In context, those weeds are things that are presenting to us, outside in, and we grow those weeds or turn them into challenges through the energy and speed of our thinking. It is self-created, and we know this because we would otherwise all have the same kind of weeds in our garden. However, we don't. The other realisation that I had this week is this: we are the garden, the beauty. And we can deal with these weeds. We have up until this point. We can choose to grow them, make them spikier and appear bigger than they are, or keep them insignificant. Innocently, we might grow those weeds to be something that they are not from time to time, and we do that kind of thing as human beings, innocently. But if we understand though that we are the ones growing them in the first place, we get back far quicker to our home base position of acceptance, trusting ourselves and self-managing. And this is the gift we've been born with, looking up and enjoying the moment again and again. I can't wait to talk about this more on this week's podcast. And here's to your understanding and bulletproofing yourself against any challenge in your life. Have a cracking week ahead and take care.